So here we are, beautiful day near Miyoshi, here in Hiroshima Prefecture. I'll just take you for a little walk around, as it were. Beautiful day in the making, a little bit cloudy. It's going to be warm, but hopefully with the cloud that there is, it should stop me from getting roasted alive. So the fish this morning fed extremely quickly, ravenous, so as a consequence of which I increased the food just a little bit. So we're now up by about another 7 or 8% increase. So yeah, fish are ravenous, fish condition's really nice, body weight's looking good, and the fish seem to be already growing noticeably. So I think if I were to compare having brought the fish here in the transport tank, even if we picked them up now and then took them back again, I think it's already too many fish for one transport tank. A few down here. Oh, that's YKJ Mud. Looking good. As you can hear, cicadas making an awful lot of noise as we walk through here. This area is beautiful. There's quite a lot of deer and wild boar, and because of that, one thing that they've done now around the mud pond in this past winter is they fenced off all of the surrounding mountain, so it gives it a little bit more protection, not because of the koi. It's not to protect the koi at all. Deer and boar don't have any interest in them, but it's to stop the boar from coming down and basically digging up all the mud around the mud ponds. This pond also looking good, but there's no fish in here at all. There used to be black bass in this pond, but it was drained down about 4 years ago and completely emptied. So it's now waiting until, hopefully, this autumn winter, we will do some work on the mud pond, drain it down and put some netting along this bank. Looking nice. Yeah, what we would do anyway in the winter season, put some netting along the bank to protect the koi from basically digging holes all the way along the bank. That's the one thing that you need to do whenever you take on a mud pond anywhere, basically, is to protect it on behalf of the rice community against damage that then otherwise the farmers would end up needing to pay to repair themselves. So it's kind of a prevention, which is our responsibility. So there, as you can see, is the mud pond we're currently using. Looking beautiful. Really is a picture. The mountains and the ocean in the drop behind there. Backdrop, if you like. The bank of both mud ponds has been grass cut in the last few days as well, so it's Nice and clean, easier access. The lower bank of this mud pond, they actually do with a remote controlled, like robotic lawnmower, if you like. So you get someone, sounds like a dream job really, someone that's into radio control stuff can stand at the top here and drive their little off-road buggy or off-road lawnmower and cut all the grass. Fantastic things to see in operation. So yeah, Muroka-san is a person that's responsible for that, and he does a fantastic job of taking care of everything around. There is also some responsibility. Everyone that takes water from a mud pond, the farmers, have a responsibility to do some of the upkeep as well. So it wouldn't be only Muroka-san. He basically is the person that is the community leader. So he's in charge of the community, who gets water, who does what jobs and so on. But it really is well organised wherever you go. It's actually the same situation, but very well organised. And it also helps that the fact that Muroka-san is keeping koi himself makes him kind of more aware of our requirements, risks and so on. And because of that, everything I think runs that little bit nicer. Now you can see there's actually a graveyard here as well, and there's a time in August called Obon, where there's one like a national holiday, where basically people go back and visit the areas where they were born and raised. So people basically go back and tend to graves and that kind of thing, make sure everything's really nice. So you'll find that in that Obon season, people will come here and do a lot of work to make these graves look beautiful. Now, there is actually a belief, or a spiritual kind of belief, that in Obon it's the time when the spirits of the deceased return to the places where they originated, and they are basically welcomed back by the local community or people that live here or used to live here. So it's kind of celebrating their existence, if you like. But back to koi. Looking good, as you can see. Packing on some body weight. Looking just about right. Yeah, an exciting summer ahead. First time I came to see this mud pond was a long time ago, 2005, 2006. And it used to be jumbo fish, so it was usually fish like yonsai upwards, and that would be unharvested from here. And it was always a sight to behold to come here all those years ago, and at first watch the harvest, and then really in later years come here and actually do the harvest as well. My job, which always kind of took place, was really being on the back of the truck, lifting the fish into the tanks and counting the fish in. So that was the part that I always used to do. And in that instance, the trucks used to be always parked where my truck is there. So they would have two trucks, one behind the other, and then bring a crane and park that here, and then lift them out and onto the back of the transport tanks, from where I would then lift them out of the fiberglass tanks into the transport tanks. So that's how it used to be. But what they've done now is put in this rather nice bridge. So from this autumn, what we can do is drive up this bridge with trucks onto the top of the bank. We'll still need a crane because it's such a long way down. you can't really be carrying all the fish up. So we will still use the fiberglass lifting tanks and crane, and then lift them into the transport tanks in that way. But having done this harvest on this pond years ago, and having done it several years running, I never actually imagined that there would come a day where this would end up being our mud pond, which really is kind of, well, it's kind of unreal really, surreal. Not something I imagined would happen. But here we are, something that I used to harvest and enjoy doing, suddenly has become something of our own.